So today we've got something a little different. I've decided to give some ground mining a go. Now I've done mining before in the Prospector. It's a video you guys will have seen before. I'll add a little link in the top right hand corner if you haven't checked that one out yet. But today we're going to give mining on the ground a go. So we've got our little rock here. We're going to take it into our Cutlass Black. We're going to take our Cutlass Black out on Daymar, and we're going to see if we can find some Hadanite to mine. From what I've been hearing, Hadanite is one of the most abundant crystals on Daymar. It's also one of the best ones to sell. A small stack of 20 Hadanite will sell for about 5k. And this rock here will hold about 1200 Hadanite, so you do the math. For about an hour's work, that's a pretty good payday, to be completely honest with you. Now, mining on the ground is very similar to mining in a ship. The only difference is the rocks you can crack will be smaller. In this case, we're not going for rocks, we're going for Hadanite. So let's get this Cutlass fired up, close up the back door, and get into the air and find ourselves some Hadanite. So for those who've never mined before, what I just did then was hit the scanner, which is the tab key by default. And then I hit the V key. Now what I'm looking for is a specific value on the RS signature, which is a multiple of 640, which does denote that it is a cluster of gems. It doesn't denote what kind of gems they are. They could be any kind, from Hadanite to Aphrodite to whatever the hell else there is out there. Alrighty, so here we go. We've found a cluster of gems. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the Cutlass. I'm going to try and bring it in so that it's close enough to the Hadanite that it's not too far to move the rock and I won't lose my position. Keeping in mind that obviously the Cutlass needs to be flat, otherwise your back ramp is going to cause all sorts of issues. And you're going to struggle to get your rock out of the back of that ship. Alright, into the back, let's open the ramp, let's get this puppy out of here. Now while we're here today, we're also going to have a quick crack at hand mining. The 319 has introduced a couple of interesting things. You would have seen it in the last video if you've watched that, that I linked earlier. If not, you can actually collect the material that you've cracked using the mining beam now, especially by hand. That was never a thing you could do, so you used to have to pick it up individually, click F, click store, it'd go through the animation of picking it up and putting it in your backpack, whereas now the beam, you just hit B, bring up your alternate mode, your collection mode, and it will suck it straight into your backpack for you. It makes life so much easier. I did run into some issues here with these rocks. I don't know if it was the server, it may have been a bit dodgy. As you can see, this rock's not reacting to my laser beam at all. I'm increasing the intensity and nothing's happening. I get little flickers of a reaction from the laser, but nothing. I don't know what that was, because other rocks worked just fine. So similar to when you're mining on a ship, you hold down Alt and you use the mouse wheel to adjust your intensity while mining. So I'm just trying to line up on another rock. here we go. This rock is actually responding correctly. One thing I did find a bit annoying about mining in the rock is that beam right in the way of the HUD. It makes it really hard to see exactly where the optimal and overcharge zones are. You do get audio cues, but by the time you get an audio cue, it's probably too late if you're at 100% intensity. There we go, just winding it back a bit. Now the best thing to do if you do not pay any attention and it goes into critical is to get the hell out of there. Those rocks will blow up your rock and you will be left with a broken rock and no way to get your gems that you've been harvesting home. So yeah, here's the collection mode. As you can see, it sucks up the rocks nicely. And we move on to the next one. So we'll do one more rock, or two more rocks, and then we'll go into some hand mining just to show you what that's like. I did have the same issue with the hand mining, weirdly, as I am here, where the rock just wouldn't react to the mining laser. Didn't seem to matter what I did, getting closer, further away, none of it worked. Certain rocks would though, which makes me think it's probably a server issue. But you see, this one's working just fine. And again, because that beam is now directed off to the left-hand side of the screen, I can see the HUD better, which makes life a little bit easier. Anyway, you've seen me crack one rock, you've seen me crack all the rocks, so what we'll do is we'll just skip ahead in time and go to hand mining. Alrighty, let's get out of this rock. Let's do some hand mining. So this is similar to in the rock. You scan the rock to work out what's in it. You hit the trigger, which starts the beam mining, and then you use the scroll wheel to scroll up or down to increase and decrease the power. And again, the distance you are from the rock matters. So you can see I was too far away. Now I'm close enough. But the same issue I had earlier, where the rock's just not responding to me mining at all, which I find strange. Yeah, server issues, that's all it could be, right? 3.19, we're still in testing, so hopefully these little things will be sorted out by the time we get into live, which shouldn't be too far away actually. I mean, Fleet Week's just around the corner, and they want to have Invictus or Fleet Week released on the PU, which means bringing out 3.19, and I would assume they're going to do that a few days before Fleet Week's meant to start, just to iron out any last final bugs that being on the PU can bring. As we all know, 3.18 was a hell of a release. It's buggy, people couldn't log on, so many errors. From what I understand, people are still having issues logging on even now. A lot of people it's been fixed for, but not everyone. So yeah, hopefully they don't rush out 3.19. Currently it seems smooth enough, but it is only a small portion of the community that's actually playing on the PTU. Not everyone does, understandably. You get wipes every day. It's not for the faint of heart. You want to be ready to test and ready to lose all your progress. So I'm just going to jump back in the rock here. I'm probably going to mine a rock through the rock, just to show you what extraction looks like with the hand miner. That target was just an AI, so I'm not worried about it in the slightest. The rock does actually have a turret to defend itself with. I've never used it. This is actually the first time using the rock. Something I should talk about, when you don't have a rock, if you want to give this a crack, you can go to any of the stations at a Lagrange point. So CRUL1, CRUL2, in this case at the Crusader system, HURL1, L2, etc. Down in the refinery, you can actually hire a Cutlass Black and the rock. I have both of these. I don't actually own a Cutlass Black or a rock, but I wanted to give it a go. It doesn't cost a whole lot. And as I mentioned earlier, the profits from mining Hadanite are good, so it's well worth doing. So here's the extraction mode on the hand miner. As you can see, the rock's just flying straight to me. There is a bit of a weird sort of reaction where you fly back a little bit once the rocks are collected. I assume that's because the rocks physically have weight and they're flying into you, so a little bit distracting. Probably something that needs ironing out. One thing I would like to be able to have, if possible, would be some kind of a HUD where you can see that the gems are that you're trying to pick up. Maybe that could be worked into the helmet somehow. A specific mining helmet would be a cool idea. One that gives you the same sort of HUD that you're getting here, but with mining gems. Like picking up the gems is what I'm referring to. But yeah, same issue with the rock. Just did not want to mine for me. I don't know. Anyway, we'll call that a day. Hope you guys got something out of this. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. If you like what I'm doing, please leave us a like, subscribe, comment, call me names if you want to. Tell me what I'm doing wrong here. 'Cause, like I said, this is really my first time ground mining in 3.19, so I could be doing it wrong. If you know better than me, let me know, and I will definitely address that in my next video. Cheers guys, have a good one.